Yeah, we could get into Kemba finally playing really, really well, shooting the ball from the outside and kind of the way that the game played out. But something hit me last night and really this morning driving down on the West Side Highway that I was thinking about.
Where all the best innovations come from.
That's it. When you're sitting in bumper-to-bumper traffic, there's no doubt about it.
That's the think tank.
You have a lot
there.
of time for soul searching. I'll get
true.
to that. And a lot of time to think when you're sitting in traffic, as there is a lot of traffic around the tri-state area. But I was thinking about this. As we look at the state of New York sports.
Whoa, you want to go 30,000 feet?
All right, so
That
as
can
you
be
look
dangerous.
at the state of the New York sports, I'm going to make a statement probably about 16 to 18 months ago. You would have put me in the loony bin if I made it.
Okay. Jets winning the Super Bowl.
No.
Okay.
Not there. Not.
You
I'm
don't
not
have to
the
be
guy
locked up forever.
No, not locked up
Okay.
forever. They're not throwing
You're not
away.
doing a lifetime
They're not throwing away the
sentence.
key, Maggie.
Got it.
So we look at the state of New York football. It's a disaster.
Pretty bad.
Woody Johnson giving Saleh and Joe Douglas a vote of confidence. John Mara, after beating the Carolina Panthers, giving Joe Judge a vote of confidence. We got that one right as compared to Matt Rule. You look at the state of New York baseball, right? The Yankees bring back a manager that I would say the majority of Yankee fans despise and can't stand in Aaron Boone. We're mocking and joking around about the expectations coming off a 92-win team. Cashman talking about the fact that we have to go get hitters that emphasize a little bit more contact in the lineup. The Clappish piece we were talking about. The Mets can't find an executive, right? Can't find anybody that they can actually talk to, number one. Number two, those that they can talk to, that they can come to terms with, that can take the president of baseball operations.
Right.
You get to hockey, right? The Rangers firing John Davidson and Gordon. And I understand the Rangers have played a lot better this year. The Devils, who really cares about the Devils? The Islanders are run brilliantly by Lou Lamoriello.
They do a great job out there.
The Brooklyn Nets got their superstars. It's really Kevin Durant running their franchise, but Kyrie Irving. Disaster last year. Kyrie Irving not being a part of it this year. But the Brooklyn Nets are the Brooklyn Nets, and Sean Marks has done a nice job adding one wily veteran after another. The New York Knicks.
Oh, wow. You're doing it.
The New York Knicks are a top 2 run franchise in New York City.
You're right. I would have locked you up.
The New York Knicks are a top 2 run franchise in New York City. I will state it from now until kingdom come. That is what makes this team different. Like, we talk about the likability factor, Maggie. We have not heard about the drama, the nonsense, the negative headlines, all of the stuff that we've heard through the Isaiah years and the Dolan year. I mean, Dolan's still there, but Dolan's taking a step into the shadows during the Donnie Walsh, everything with Carmelo Anthony. All of that stuff has gone away, right? What once was a leaky ship at Madison Square Garden, there's not many leaks coming out of MSG. Everyone seems to be on the same page. You barely hear from Leon Rose. Whether you like that or not, Leon Rose is not out there,
where is he?
Puffing his chest out saying, proud as a peacock about where this team is. Tom Thibodeau, the fan base is bought in. They're led by a superstar, well, a young superstar, I would say, and Julius Randle that completely turned his career around.
Right.
The perception of him as a player in New York City. And everybody is bought in. Everybody is bought in. The Knicks are a well-oiled machine right now. 18 months ago, they were basically like a 52 Dodge with 4-ball tires. Right now, they have changed the complete perception of what they are as an organization.
Yeah.
They really have. They've made this team likable. The team is likable. It's a winning product on the court.
Right.
They become the talk of the town in New York City. There is no negative headlines. They become a place that's attractive, conceivably, for other superstars as they continue to go out there and win basketball games. The New York Knicks.
Yeah.
Now, they're not the Islanders. Lamoriello is a god when running a franchise. But put the Islanders aside. Outside of the Islanders, the Knicks are the second best run franchise in New York City.
Man, all you were missing from that was the bing bong. Where was that? Oh, man, Moose, I don't know if I can get there with you. This is great, but you know what this is? The way that you set this up, it's a nice little story. See, this is what's different between the Knicks and some of those other teams that you mentioned. I'll bring out the Yankees and I'll bring out the Brooklyn Nets. The Knicks don't have anywhere near the expectations of those two teams. The Yankees, year after year, whether it's ridiculous or not, World Series or bust. You got the Nets, who I think have proven they're a well-run organization because of how Sean Marks took them from the brink. And listen, they did the right thing here with Kyrie Irving. This got like 100% approval rating around the city. You got to have him away from the team. You can't have a part-time player because he doesn't want to get a vaccine. You got Harden here. You got Durant. Like, you've got other guys around him. They build nice players here. Like, that's a very well-run organization. They deserve to be in the upper echelon, but they have expectations. The Knicks is fun, Moose. This is fun to watch. This is a team with expectations to make the playoffs when half the teams in the conference make the playoffs. You can't exactly say their feet are to the fire. Everyone's just loving what they're seeing. And there was a lot to love about last night's game in particular. A couple things I didn't like about it, but a lot to love about last night's game for sure.
They finally beat the 76ers.
You finally won. See, but that's the
thing.
thing.
They finally beat the 76ers, snapping that 15-game losing streak, Maggie Gray.
You are confusing well-run, amazing with nice little story.
Nice little story.
Well, Moose, let's be honest here.
Really? Nice little story.
They are. They're a great story.
Like, nice little story is like my kid winning the Little League at Stanford.
No.
Like, that's
I'm not trying to be a jerk.
No, I'm joking around with you. But the Knicks, they're not more than just a nice little story with what they've done here. And I get it's tough to get there because there's so much history. You grow up in this area and you know about the Knicks were a laughing stock being made fun of in Disney and Pixar movies.
You forgot about Phil Jackson. I mean, there's been so much.
I mean, how could you forget Phil, feet up, getting paid, falling asleep on a bus?
Yeah.
I mean, all of those things with Phil Jackson, the triangle offense, drafting Frank Ntilikina, passing on Donovan Mitchell. I mean, who's dying to play at Madison Square Garden. Yeah. All these things, they were so poorly run.
Right. No, it's much better now. 100%.
It's significantly better 110%. Now. They went from basically hell to heaven. Because it is heaven right now to be a Knicks fan.
It is.
And I don't have aspirations of them winning a championship this year. And you're right. It's different than the Brooklyn Nets. It's different than the Yankees. But I'll tell you, when you look at the Yankees, if you put the expectations aside.
Okay. Hard to do, but yes.
But you put the expectations aside.
Likable team, fun to watch? No.
Are they, would you say everyone is on the same page, well run, player evaluation, all of those things that it looks like they're getting closer to winning a championship. It does look like it's getting farther away. And we've had those discussions. And I agree. Listen, the Yankees are, they like to put themselves on a different pedestal. And I get it. Maggie, as a Knicks fan, like what makes this team so enjoyable is that I believe in the management. Like, I never believed in Isaiah.
No.
I never believed.
How could you?
Like, I thought Phil Jackson, I was like, you know what? It's going to work. And then all of a sudden, I had the cold water in my face, and it was like, no, it's not going to work.
He was there to collect a check.
I never thought they were going to. On the same day that LeBron James was having the decision to go to the Miami Heat, the Knicks were introducing Amari Stoudemire because the only team in the NBA willing to give him a guaranteed contract based on where the condition of his knee.
Yeah, and the detached retina.
That basically looked like it was, when you're going there, they were like going to a funeral when they were introducing Amari Stoudemire because LeBron was deciding later on that night, nobody knew he was going to Miami, but that he was going to go to Miami.
Yeah.
Like, all of that has ended. Like, you can dream now, and they've done it differently. They play their guys, stars of, a player like Julius Randle's developed. You've gotten veteran players to buy in. Thibodeau and Leon Rose seem to be on the same page. They finally got Worldwide West into the fold. James Dolan has taken a back seat. Like, there's none of that. Like, it is exciting and great to be a Knicks fan. I'm not going to defend James Dolan for the way that he's run this franchise or owned this franchise. But right now, Maggie, I think part of the reason why Knicks fans are so excited about this group is the fact that they believe in the way they're being run.
Well, I think they...
And you're seeing the results.
Is it that they believe so much in the way they're being run, or they believe that you have a incredible player in Julius Randle who is setting the tone alongside Derrick Rose and Thibodeau? Like, you got to give him credit for building the culture, right? Even if I have issues with his minutes and substitution stuff, whatever. He is definitely building something here. The players are building something here. But, Moose, I'd love to know for you and for the rest of the Knicks fans that are just happy to be here, like, how long does that...
Welcome to the party.
Yeah, right. How long does that last until you actually...
the open bar close?
Until you actually want to take this. You want to take this team from playoffs and excited about being a playoff team to what do we have to do to win a title? Because that's when you have to start going from smiles and rainbows and the open bar to being a killer. And the Knicks right now, I think, have this killer instinct. It's not that. It's not this. That's not an indictment on the players. It's, do you have enough talent to strike fear into the heart of the Milwaukee Bucks? Do you have enough talent to strike fear into the heart of the Brooklyn Nets? 7-game series, no BSing around. Can you actually beat these teams? Do you have enough talent for that? When does the Knicks fan go from, hey, this is awesome, great story, so happy that James Dolan hasn't done anything to ruin it yet, to when is this team going to actually be a title contender? And I'm not putting that on them this year. That's not me. I'm not putting those expectations there. I'm just saying, when does that flip? How do the Knicks get there ultimately? How long does that take? How patient are you going to be until it's like the Yankees, where you're coming into the season saying, this team's got to be a contender for a title?
All right, let me ask you this, Maggie.
Yeah.
When that opportunity presents itself,
right?
Do you believe in this group more than any other group for the Knicks in recent years?
In terms of poaching a star, definitely yes. But you literally couldn't pay a star to come here.
Now,
2 years ago.
Now they're attractive.
They are attractive.
Now the Garden is rocking.
Right, but think about that.
I'm leaving after the third quarter
yes.
opening night against the Celtics.
Moose wouldn't know, but he's told it's rocking. The thing is
I
about that.
I can feel it in my living room.
Yeah, comes through the TV. It's beautiful. Get it through the radio. I think the funny thing, too, is, though, like, think about this, and you can just look at the Nets as the example. They were building something. They built something, nice culture, safe to come here for superstars, all of that. Ultimately, when you do get those stars, I'm not saying everyone's the same, but you are going to end up maybe relinquishing some of the power that goes from the front office that moves to the player. It's just a reality in the NBA.
Want to hear from you, 877-337-6666. Yonkers we go. It's Bill. What's going on, Bill?
I just want to call Maggie. You're absolutely great. Moose, you're rambling on after 5 games about the Knicks being so entertaining.
Yeah.
You leave opening night down 4. Would you leave if the Celtics were playing the Lakers?
No, Billy, I had work that night. Night. Now you want to get on me? I didn't go to beat the traffic. We went down this. I understand you want to call me. You want to call me a disgrace for leaving that game. You're well within your right. I am excited as a Knicks fan.
Listen, this is what will happen. Before game 1, before game 5, you thought the Knicks were just going to be like they were last year. You don't want to think they're going to come out and rocking and roll in the Garden. The Garden hasn't rocked and rolled for freaking years. Now you're there, down 4. You turn to your friend, whoever you're sitting at, front court seats, for God's sake, that every New York Knicks fan on his earth would give up children for.
Courtside Gary.
You're right. And you're right. Your son, Gary.
No, not my son. Courtside Gary. My son is Jackson Paul
Gregory. You're betting the race after it's over. The race is over, and here you are telling people, it was a disgrace for me to leave. You didn't believe in the Knicks in game 1. That's what happened.
That's not true.
I see what you're saying, Bill. You thought, It took a while to get there. I wasn't sure what he was getting at. He thinks that you are a hypocrite because you left the game because you thought the Knicks were going to lose.
No,
that wasn't it.
That wasn't it.
No, I got to defend
Can you
Moose
get
there.
my back on that one?
100%.
Thank you. That was not it.
That's misconstruing the situation. Moose had to leave because he's an idiot. I'm just kidding. No, Moose had to leave because he double booked himself, not because he thought the Knicks were going to lose. No, Moose is bleeding orange and blue.
I'm into it. Manhattan we go. Pat, what's up, Pat? Patrick. And Pat is not there. Queensbound we go. Richie, what's up, Richie?
You're still getting abuse about leaving.
Yeah, I was taking heat all weekend long. I can't.
Surprised. It's Wednesday now. The news cycle moves fast. Like aren't we past it?
I sent out a picture of me taking my son Gregory to hockey Saturday morning. The immediate reaction from people: are you going to stay the entire time? Thank you.
Kid needs to ride home.
Be 2 or 3.
If not for that.
Thanks, man.
2 or 3 years. 2 or 3 years, most it'll be done. But I do. They keep records on everything. Now that it's brought up, because I was going to tell you this the first day.
What's up?
And the last time that somebody had left a front row court seat for the first time that they were there was 1978. So that record held a long time, Moose, until you broke it.
Thank you, Richie.
So, head of the analytics department of the Moose and Maggie Show.
Thank you.
You're hired.
Okay. On the Knicks,
for 49 years
excited.
Until I stepped into the Garden.
Moose, you're one of a kind.
The Knicks, obviously, the thing that irks me, and you hate to get on a team that's playing well. When the game ended, the starting 5 were on the court.
Oh, Richie.
Yeah.
And they're up 24. And
Speaking
again,
my language right
the
now.
biggest thing with him, and it has to be addressed because even he does just wear his guys down. You look at guys like Noah and people like that he just played and played and played. Randall's going to, 27 to 28. You just wonder when the minutes have to be, backtracked a little bit. And if I'm with guys like the two rookies, Grimes, and I forget the other fellow's name, Kevin Knox, I mean, these are NBA players. I wouldn't want to go. And I understand you got a core 8 now. You got 8 or 9 guys they're playing. They had 12 guys that they played last night. So it's not like they're playing 8. But how do these guys that come show a little bit of their talent? And I think there comes a time where you just got to put them in. And I don't like his end of game decisions.
Wait, Richie, hold on one second. Like, I'll get there with you because this is. We can talk about this now. We're going to save this for a little bit later because this is a really good win last night. It takes away, I'd say 10% of my enjoyment watching the Knicks is watching Julius Randle out on the floor last night with 2.5 minutes left to go in that game. It's a blowout. Doc Rivers has called off the dogs. Joel Embiid's no longer on the court. Why the hell is Julius Randle on the court? So some dude named Reed from DePaul University, second-round pick, can hard foul Julius Randle with 45 seconds left to go. Again, it's a small thing that I don't want to become a big thing. It's gonna sound like a nitpick. Like, do you understand the people who are the minutes police, of which I think I'm a first lieutenant, captain maybe of the minutes police force? I don't want to be right about this, but last year it showed with 10 fewer games. Like, you got to be able to steal minutes. And the thing about Thibodeau is, like, he can do whatever he wants. He's the coach. He's done so much more good here than not. But, like, what's the explanation? Why is he on the court?
I think it's just trust. But hold it. We'll get into more of it. We'll get more into it in terms of the way Thibodeau is handling his rotation. Obi Toppin presenting and providing a lot of energy coming off the bench. We'll get into that as well. It was a hell of a Knicks victory last night at Madison Square Garden. A top 2-run franchise in New York sports. Those are your New York Knicks. It's Moose and Maggie with you. Yes.
Moose, it's almost like this guy, Matt Arnold, who might be maybe interviewing for the Mets job or whatever.
Where we're at there.
He was student of the year his junior year of college in the sports management department. Who else was in the class? So you're saying the Knicks are one of the top 2-run franchises.
It's New York.
Look at the competition.
I understand, but the fact that the Knicks are there is stunning. It's like you went from class clown to all of a sudden student of the year. That is what the Knicks have done
on the resume.
That's exactly right. Moose and Maggie with you, the fan in New York.